I have seen, since I've been coming over there, because Hollywood Studios is my favorite part to just go walk around in when I have an hour or two. I've seen people playing skip rope or jump rope with Goofy. I've seen them play all kinds of different little games with different characters in costume. The most fun one I ever saw was I actually saw Stitch and Donald Duck playing Duck, Duck, Goose with a bunch of little kids. So literally you could play Duck, Duck, Goose with Donald.
Now, I'm not sure if I remember how to play Duck, Duck, Goose, but I sure can't wait to bring my grandkids to Disney World and play Duck, Duck, Goose with Donald, Stitch, and any other Disney character. How about you, geeks? Hey there, Curtis Stone here, host of the Geekin on Walt Disney World Podcast. Today, we have my man on the street and local boots on the ground friend, Jason. He's back on the show. He's been living in the Disney bubble area for 3 years now, and he's bringing us a massive list of observations, hidden gems, and updates. Before we jump in to my chat with Jason, a quick shout out to my wonderful wife, Margita, and Auntie Judy, the Traveling Tiaras. Whether you're dreaming of a trip to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, a Disney cruise, or getting ready for the mind-blowing Universal Epic Universe, they are ready to help you plan the perfect vacation. Booking or transferring your trip through them is one of the absolute best ways to support this show, and we truly appreciate it. Reach out to them. Get started by emailing them, travelingtiaras@gmail.com, and don't stress about remembering that. You can just check the show notes where I leave the emails to the Traveling Tiaras and my email if you'd like to contact us. Coming up on the show today, what it's really like to play jump rope with Goofy at Hollywood Studios. A first-hand look at the revamped Muppet-themed Coaster Q, the best non-Disney Brazilian steakhouse you need to try, why Star Tours remains one of the most underrated rides on property, a local secret to the famous affogato, where Jason works down at the Gelato stand in Disney Springs, and the hilarious reason you might get ambushed by Kylo Ren. This episode is all about the little things, the unexpected, spontaneous moments of magic that remind us why we fell in love with Disney in the first place. Okay, geeks, grab your favorite snack, cool off from the summer heat, and let's geek out with our pal Jason in Disney World. I made a lot of pals in this community, and I love when I get to see my dude friends down in the parks, and I got someone coming back on. It's probably been a while. My sense of time is horrible. But please give a warm Geekin family welcome to Jason.
Hey, Kurt. Hi, geeks.
When was the last time you were on? Because you're my man on the street.
I think it was the last time was when I did all of those reports on the food at the quick service restaurants at Disney Springs. I had been going and just giving everyone reviews because so many new quick service spots opened up last year, and you wanted me to come down and kind of rank them. And I remember that because I would tell people, hey, if you want to hear, what my voice sounds like or what I sound like on a podcast, you should listen to Kurt's podcast. What I didn't realize until I went back and listened to it is that you put on the little cold opening, me making a flatulence joke about the Indian food. I'm like, oh, who did I tell to listen to this? Because now they're going to think I'm kind of a creep.
The first thing right out of the show.
Right. Yep.
Leave it to me.
That hasn't changed at Eat, by the way. If you go there, make sure you're not going to be stuck in an elevator with anybody afterwards. Great food, but wow.
No problem. You know what I think of Indian food. Although, I think it was Bill Carmichael who was trying to convince me. He was giving me some things to try, but I'm good. Well, yeah, because
Yeah.
you're my guy on the ground. You've been living there. How long have you been living there, Jason?
I think it's now 3 years
Yeah.
come July. I think so.
Still enjoying it?
Yeah, you find the rhythm when you want to go to the parks, when you don't want to go to the parks. Like right now, unless I have friends that invite me to something, there's no need to go. It's 100 degrees. It's sweaty. It's hot. But, people have tickets or people want to come down and do events. So, just like, you're up in Connecticut, you don't plan on doing too much outside during January, February. We down here, we don't plan on doing all that much mid-June to like mid-August. It's just so constrictingly hot that you don't do anything if you can avoid it. On the other side, it would be really hard for me to wake up in the morning now and go, okay, I need a half an hour to defrost my car and get the ice off the windshields. It is at no point during the year down here do I have to go, do I have to make any preparations to travel? It's just get in the car, even if it's hot out, it'll cool off.
I like that comparison. Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I got like 20 topics to run by you because you're my boots on the ground guy and observations that you've encountered in your time. And these are going to be fun looks at what your opinions are on these. And I know you can carry a conversation, so we'll try to do an hour of this, all right?
Sure, no problem. Disney's still one of my favorite things to talk about.
I know. All right, question number 1. I think there's always something new. And even though you're local, what do you think's been new lately in the parks that you've enjoyed?
Well, one of the new changes, and I haven't really gotten a chance to fully check it out yet, but they did do that level 99 that's at Disney Springs.
Yes.
There's some people that have come back and telling me about it. Apparently, it's a lot of fun. It's like literally like being inside an old Atari 2600 game where you're trying to jump over crocodiles and swing on vines, and all of that. And apparently, the different levels of different difficulties. So you can come in there with somebody who's not very good, or then you got your American Gladiator, American Ninja Warrior people that can go up to like the top floors, but like fun stuff like the floor is lava, or try to figure out where the right picture is inside a room in order to unlock the door, all kinds of fun stuff like that. So that, that's one of those things, Arg, if you're the type that doesn't want to maybe spend all of your time in the park, maybe you like Disney, but you're not a huge park guy, that really gives you a pretty nice opportunity to kind of do something that's still unique, but not, being stuck in line for, 3 hours to ride Peter Pan.
I've heard of this, and yeah, I love hearing about it again because I can remember taking the kids when it was the games, electronic games, and the kids thought that was the best thing ever. And that was the last time that space was used properly, it seems like.
Yeah. That, and the other thing, that's a good lead in. The other thing about using space properly is I am really impressed with what they're doing with the animation courtyard area now at Hollywood Studios.
Ooh, really? How come?
Yeah. Well, what they've done is, how they've had, how it was always kind of like a dead space there. If you go up, go past, the turn off to go down towards Tower of Terror and all that, but you went up, and where the courtyard is, there's that big area that really nothing was going on there. Yeah. You could go down into the Star Wars area to meet Chewbacca, or you could go and watch The Little Mermaid, but otherwise that was just a lot of empty space. Right. Well, now that they've revamped the courtyard, they are doing a lot of really family friendly stuff over there. I would record it and posted it, but since so many children were involved, I didn't really feel comfortable having my camera out taking pictures of the little kids. But I have seen, since I've been coming over there, because Hollywood Studios is my favorite park to just go walk around in when I have an hour or two. I've seen people playing skip rope or jump rope with Goofy. I've seen them play all kinds of different little games with different characters in costume. The most fun one I ever saw was I actually saw Stitch and Donald Duck playing Duck, Duck, Goose with a bunch of little kids. So literally you could play Duck, Duck, Goose with Donald. There was no cost, no line, nothing, it's just they seem to be committed right now to using that area for fun stuff for families, especially families with little kids.
I love this. Jason,
Yeah.
I love this. As you know, I've got 2 grandchildren now.
I know. Congratulations. One of each now.
I have one of each kind, and I've got a trip coming up in February with Johnny, who's going to be 2 years old. So this is more, when Margita and I were there last time, this is what was going through our mind, starting to look for these, because it's been a long time since our kids were of that age. And I just remember, this is really good. And I remember the dance parties thinking, boy, they seem to be having a really good time. I don't know why, but the families seem to be having a lot of fun with the dance parties. And this is a similar kind of thing.
Yeah. And I know when I was first checking out the parks long ago when I was still back in Ohio, I remember thinking that it didn't seem like, besides the dance party, there was all that much to do for young kids at Hollywood Studios. That was like the biggest knock, like plenty of stuff to do at Magic Kingdom, of course. And so much stuff to see visually at Epcot, that was no problem. And then, of course, all the animals at Animal Kingdom. So you had things that engage little kids. Now they have the Bluey area up there in Animal Kingdom. Yeah. So, now when they could take that train, and little kids love trains, now you have, Bluey for there. But yeah, that whole area is now, every time I go over there, there's different characters. They have different games going on over there. It's just an easy thing to do, but how many memories are going to be made? How many times can you say, my kid got this, jump rope with Goofy?
Oh, yeah.
That's something that, you can really hold on to something like that, and just becomes one of those things that kind of gets imprinted in your Disney memories.
For sure. And it's those things that you don't expect that end up being that memory you take back from your trip. And that's got a lot of opportunity for that.
Always those unexpected moments that's take the hardest.
What's the building doing now? Is it vacant? That used to be the Playhouse.
Yeah, I know they're redoing the Little Mermaid, but honestly, I haven't gotten in to explore because it's been so packed with kids and their families.
Yeah.
So it's just a case of, it's like, okay, I don't have little kids anymore, so that's not the area for me. I'll walk around, kind of appreciate it. Next time I go over there, though, I'll have to do that. I'll have to do a little more spelunking and see what's actually going on over there.
I was thinking about the Muppets. Have you been on the new coaster yet?
Just went on it.
Revamped.
2 nights ago. Yeah.
What'd you think?
I loved it. The ride itself is always going to be a occasional ride. It's just a little too hard on me physically. But whoever designed that area, they were dedicated to trying to bring over as much as they could from the Muppet Vision 3D.
Oh, cool.
I mean, yeah, there's one thing I wish they had done, because they were tough on space, because you still have the outside part where there's really no areas for theming. Once you get inside, there's this great room where there's like all these things with the Muppets doing like these social media TikTok videos and stuff. And I didn't want to move on. I was like, no, I like to watch some more of this, because we just got to the part where Fozzie Bear was making jokes with Weird Al Yankovic. And I'm like, no, let me back in here. I don't want,
This is the queue? Like the queue?
Yeah, yeah. And the queue, before you get into the actual,
pre-show.
Pre-show, there's a little entry room there. Yeah, they have all these different funny TikTok-ish type videos going on in there. And I was like, oh, come on, just 5 more minutes. I want to go through all of these. But that gives me something to look forward to next time. The ride itself, not that different. Just take the neon. It looks like you're in one of those glow-in-the-dark indoor putt-putt areas, and make it more Muppet-themed than Aerosmith-themed, and you've got the same ride. But the pre-show is awesome. The scooter animatronic is amazing. Just like the rocket animatronic at that Disneyland, Guardians of the Galaxy, it's like that level. Just so advanced.
Again, I'm thinking of my grandson, who's a big fan of the Muppets, but will he be ready to ride quite at 2.5?
Probably not. But the good news is, because they have that as an attraction. Remember how they closed the Muppet merchandise store before?
Yeah.
They have merchandise again.
Oh, okay.
So now if you go to the end, and you can always go in through the back, there is Muppet merchandise again.
You could do the pre-show.
That almost made me cry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very popular.
Yeah, Sam the Eagle, sipper mugs, and all of these different things in there. Yeah, it was great to see Muppet merchandise again.
All right, great answer to the first question. Number 2, what park feels the most different right now? Compare like construction, crowds, entertainment, atmosphere.
I would say that that's easily Animal Kingdom.
Yeah.
It's, I know how everyone doesn't like calling it a half-day park. Right now, with all the construction and everything going on, it's being generous, I think, sometimes to call it a half-day park.
Yeah. That was a softball question, I think. Now I got it out. But Margit and I, we're coming down in September. Hope we can catch up with you. And I think she said we're going on our arrival day, which means we're almost writing off that park. And the big event is that we're going to eat at the Rainforest Cafe.
Oh, yeah. There's some sensory overload for you.
So that's Ken's pick for our trip. But yeah, it's the whole, that construction is happening in the old dinosaur area.
Yeah. It's in that you didn't realize how big of a section that was until you're there, and that whole section's kind of closed off. You still got the 3 biggest, I would say the big 3 biggest attractions previously were always, Flight of Passage, Kilimanjaro Safari, and Expedition Everest. But you did take the kind of the 4th largest off the table with Dinosaur.
Yeah.
So, it kind of doesn't have that big 4th thing to do now.
Right.
So that part's a little harder. Again, it really is, unless you're really dedicated to wanting to see all the different animals, or if you do have your little ones, if you're willing to go wait in line to meet Bluey, that's going to be a big deal there.
Oh, okay. Bluey's there. Yeah.
He's in was previously the petting zoo area that you can only get to by train.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and for me, I don't really do Flight of Passage or even the Everest unless I'm taking some boning.
Yeah, last time I rode Flight of Passage, I started to feel it a little bit. I had not much before, but the last time, also, it clamped my leg in the wrong spot, and I could barely walk for like 3 or 4 hours afterwards. I'm like, this is a great ride. It would be nice if I could feel the bottom of my foot since all the blood has been cut off. But
But for people who still love those, it's fine.
Yeah. You know what? If Rise of the Resistance didn't kind of like take it up even another level, I would still probably put Flight of Passage really high on my list.
Yeah.
But man, Rise of the Resistance takes that immersion level even up another notch.
That's your favorite?
No, Guardians Cosmic Rewind is my favorite, but I don't know if that one is quite as immersive as Rise of the Resistance. Yeah. Rise of the Resistance, when you're there online with somebody who's not been through it before, you're just literally watching their jaw drop throughout different parts, and you're like sitting there almost giggling, waiting for like the lightsaber scene to come through the ceiling, all of that. But one of the times we were just there was a young man with the group that was with us. Remember that? You were with me, weren't you? With the kid with the lightsaber?
Yeah.
Remember how excited he was?
Yeah.
And how we kept telling him, you're a Jedi, you have to protect us?
Yes, that's
right.
And
then he sat with me instead of his mom. And I'm freaking out looking at his mom going, I didn't ask him to sit with me. I did not ask your 5-year-old to sit with me. Please don't think I'm some kind of weirdo. But he wanted to protect me while we were on the ride. I've been seeing that every time I ride it, is there's always somebody who's never been on it before. And so they're always just, awe-inspired while they're on it.
Well, I like hanging out with you because you interact with guests and cast members, and that's the attraction that accentuates your ability.
Yeah. I always try to push buttons whenever the Imperial First Order people are not looking, or if they catch me, then they're really great about staying in costume and in their roles.
Yeah.
I've been yelled at. I've had people threaten to have me like march to the interrogation room and all of that. And sometimes they're scary enough that I like start backing off. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. Is it some kid from Topeka, Kansas yelling at me? Yes, but at the moment it doesn't feel like it.
I think, yeah, you have the most fun when you engage
Yeah.
with others in these. Fantastic. All right. You mentioned, I think when we were starting, last time you were on, we were talking about some quick services you were checking out.
Yes.
Best new food you've had recently. And it could be anything. It could be snacks and, it could be appetizers. Doesn't have to be fancy.
Right. Well, for me, I got to go to the DVC Hollywood nights that they have at Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
Big shout out to Chad Pennycuff of the My DVC Points podcast, friend of mine who invited me to go along with some people that were all from that podcast family, though one or two of them are actually part of the Geekin community as well.
That happens.
So, yep. So there was some crosstalk over there. But using up our snack credits, one of the things I got to try was the strawberry lemonade, the frozen strawberry lemonade that was at the Marketplace booth, right there at the Toy Story entrance.
Yeah.
That was delicious.
Oh.
Just the right amount of sweetness and tartness and frozenness to because it's Florida, even at night, it's hot and sweaty. It just cooled off and refreshed me. It was awesome. I got it for free, but I would have paid money for it.
Perfect answer, because slushies are one of my favorite snacks at Disney World. And I like the way you described that. The perfect balance of sweetness and tartness. And I like strawberry and lemon together.
Yeah. The other one is new for me, but not new, I'm sure, to a lot of the geeks, because I never really got to eat at Steakhouse 71 as far as a meal previously. We would just go there and get some drinks and then use that spot to walk on to Magic Kingdom, kind of like a get drinks and go, walk to the Magic Kingdom kind of a thing. Yeah. But I just ate there for my birthday lunch, and the New York strip was great. But what I hadn't had before was that I think it's 7-layer chocolate cake they have there.
Right.
That was one of the best desserts I've had recently. And apparently it's very similar to the 7-layer cake that they serve at Top of the World. Because when I was talking to some people, they were all asking me, have you gone to Top of the World? And they didn't say, did you see the fireworks? Did you see this? No, it was, did you try the cake at the Top of the World? I'm like, well, no, but I had it at Steak 71. I think they use the same kitchen, so it's probably similar, if not the same cake.
Yeah, I love when a restaurant or a lounge or something has something that's unique that people talk about. So I know exactly what you're saying. What's in these 7 layers? Why are they different, or what's the consistency?
I don't think there's any difference other than the layer in between the layers. It wasn't super sweet like a frosting, but it was thicker than a mousse. So it was almost like in between frosting and mousse level, like a really sweet, maybe almost like a chocolate pudding layers between. Yeah. So that was what was really good. Now, the one I got was so long, it literally took me 3 times to finish it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so big and so rich,
Is it chocolate? Is it a chocolate cake?
It's chocolate cake, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And normally I'm a cheesecake guy. You offer cheesecake, I'm going to go for it. But I'm like, this is what they consider like their special dessert. It's what the waitress recommended. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'll try.
I agree with you. I think I'm not a big cake person per se, but I'm catching what you're saying. I do like cheesecake. Also,
yeah,
ice cream cake.
Like one of those things that you just, no matter how they make it, cheesecake's always good.
Great answer.
It might not be your favorite, but it's hard to mess up cheesecake.
And I saw your post for the birthday. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Belated.
Yeah, it's fun to have, the parks right next to you to go celebrate at.
I know you gave me a shout out that you had something I would enjoy, a steak.
Yeah. I'm like, how am I going to face Kurt after this if I went and didn't get the steak?
I tell you, I've never met a steak on property I didn't like. Really. I mean, honestly, the only place I would say maybe I've been disappointed with steak, and I hate to admit it, but it's been Ohana at times. That
I still have never been there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sometimes they miss, and then you got to ask them and bring another one. They overcook it a little bit sometimes.
Gotcha.
But But other than that, always a hit no matter where I go. Good one. Did you have another one, or we?
No, I think that's it, because I'm going to bring up food on your next question as far as little hidden gems and such.
Yeah, the hidden gem of the month is my next one.
So, yeah. So I have kind of a couple of different themes, and they're both kind of outside of the actual bubble there. One is, well, first one I'll do while I pull up the name of the other one is, I'm going to toot my own horn here.
Okay.
You know, I have that little side job. I work for Vivoli Gelato.
Yeah.
Usually during the school year, I work there one night a week, but during the summer, I've been taking on extra shifts. It's become TikTok famous, but I still don't think everyone knows about them. Yeah, we have a thing called the affogato there, and it's what they're famous for. It was actually what they sell at hundreds of at their original store in Venice, Italy. It's where you take a cup, you put 4 sides of gelato around it, and you put a shot of espresso in the middle.
Oh.
And if you get inside the store, you can get it in a ceramic cup with a little plate and a fancy little spoon, and you got to bring that back. Or if you want it to go, you can take it to go. And we have a cart over by the glass store next to World of Disney that you can get the affogatos as well. We have a couple other carts, but those are the only 2 spots to get the affogato. I honestly didn't think I would actually like it. As much as I like ice cream and I like coffee, I don't like coffee flavored ice cream. So I just thought, oh, well, but then somebody messed up an order and had an extra. They're like, hey, Jason, you're about to go on break. You want to take this affogato with you? Oh, yes, I'll take the free affogato. And I tried it and I went, why haven't I been eating this for the last year and a half? This is awesome. You know, you can get any flavor that's in the store. What they call the original is cream custard, kind of like a French vanilla flavor.
Oh, yeah.
That's really good. But the other 2 most popular flavors is pistachio, and that's where they dip the gelato in crushed pistachios, or Biscoff. Same thing. They have a Biscoff gelato, and they dip it into crushed Biscoff cookies. Yeah. Both of those are also really popular. So if you're in Disney Springs and you want to try something that is sweet and bitter at the same time, and is literally something that is famous in Venice, Italy, with the exact same recipe that they use in Venice, Italy.
Yeah.
They use the same recipe that they have there. It's a nice little treat. And they also have seasonal ones. Like right now they have toasted coconut. During the fall, they'll have a pumpkin spice one. And so, you know, I think that one there is a really good, if you just want something that's unique, not a lot of time investment, is, you know, just might wait in line 10 minutes. So you're not, you know, it's not a big thing you have to make a big plan for, but while you're there, it's really something worth checking out.
I love this one. I'm not even going to criticize you for being a company man, because I think that was legit. I'm glad you didn't overlook it just because you're working there. And I think this is something Margita, maybe I can convince her to go to Disney Springs, because she loves gelato.
It's worth it. And of course, if any of the geeks happen to be going there on a Friday night, look me up. During the summer, there all the time, but during the school year, I'm usually there on Friday nights. So if somebody comes there on a Friday night, wants to swing by, I can probably get them my discount.
All right. Thanks, Jason. The Geekin on Walt Disney World discount at the gelato.
Yeah, it's like it's a one-man Groupon going on there.
You're awesome. Did you have another one you were looking up?
Yeah, it is a Brazilian steakhouse chain. They have 2 locations in the Disney area, one in Winter Garden, one by the Florida Mall. And I wish I could remember the name of it, but it starts with an A. And I just ate there last night. And it was possibly the best meal I've had in the Orlando area, at least in the last year or so.
Wow, how come?
It's, you know how you talked about what ohana is? You know, and how they bring all those meats out to your desk or your table, right, and all of that. Do that, but with, it's Adega Gaucha Brazilian Steakhouse. They bring, while we were there, they must have brought 30 different types of meat to my table.
Wow.
Briskets, bacon wrapped steaks, different chickens, different sausages, prime rib, just every type of meat that you can put on a stick and bring out to the table because they give you little tongs and they just slice it right then and there and you grab it with your tongs. But yeah, it's Adega Gaucha. It's $65 for an adult, which is about what you would pay to go to a meet and greet, sit down restaurant. But the food is unbelievable.
Wow, Jason.
And way more than you can possibly eat more than once, like on a trip. Because
I like it.
Yeah.
I'd have to get an Uber.
Yeah. And I came in there going, okay, I'm going to get my money's worth, but I'm not going to overeat. I mean, I'm trying, I'm sure it's, and then like 5 times more times I've said, okay, no, I haven't had that yet. I have to try that. Oh, shrimp. Okay. Yeah. I have to try that. Oh, fried cheese squares with guava sauce on top of it. Okay. Yeah. I guess we have to try that,
This is my kind of place.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like you. I've been losing weight and I don't stretch the belly that often, but I might.
Yeah, it was worth it. And again, it's something that if you're just looking for where everyone can get something, because they're going to have so many different types of food there that everyone's going to have something. And if you want something that's a high quality meal, but you don't necessarily feel the need to meet characters or anything like that, and maybe just kind of get out of it for a while, it's a really good way to do so.
Nice. Good job. All right, let's move on to attractions. Have you noticed any wait times aren't really that accurate or they're consistently inflated?
Yeah, I think Hollywood Studios, in my opinion, has probably been the most accurate out of them. So that's the one that I actually generally can usually, whatever they post on there is generally pretty good. Epcot's kind of a roll of the dice.
Yeah.
I have waited 2 to 3 times longer for, say, Ratatouille than what they posted, and I've waited half the time they posted. I think it's usually the second one more often. I think Ratatouille gets such big lines. I think sometimes they try to scare you off of it. And so I think sometimes they may double the wait time on that because that line will go all the way out, into the street there sometimes in the World Showcase. And Soarin', I think you can't count on the wait times on Soarin' because I think they have issues. People get sick or people get stuck or something. Because it's, I can't seem to tell how long the line's in just by even looking at it because it seems like it's a different wait time every time.
I think you're right. I think that's always been that way.
Yeah.
Interesting. Good ones. What do you think is the most underrated ride right now?
Underrated? I actually would say Star Tours.
Yeah,
I like Star Tours. I think Star Tours, I think, it's air conditioned in there. It's got a great queue. That is, even with all the modern updates, that is still a really fun queue to walk through.
And it's a short line.
It's a short line, and they're always updating the scenes.
Yes, that's what I was going to think.
Every time there's a new Star Wars franchise of any kind, it seems like they add a shot or two in there. I mean, this last time, Ashoka, however you say her name, was the person we met up with, and so, I mean, there is something, it just seems like it's perpetually something new to it.
That's a great answer because obviously the Galaxy's Edge gets all the notoriety.
Yeah.
And then the original.
Rightfully so.
Yeah.
It's a great ride.
And
Star Tours is quite a bit older.
They've had some new scenes to the Millennium Falcon, as I understand it. I haven't seen them yet.
That's going to come up later on your question about some things that would fix on a ride is the Millennium Falcon ride. But I will say I've actually not really watched much of The Mandalorian. Adding Grogu, though, to the little screens while you're doing the stuff does make it a lot more fun.
Yeah. Well, let's take that question on then. That's something you would fix in the parks?
Yes. You were talking about if I could Imagineer something. The one thing, and it really stuck out to me because I just rode. And of course, there were some folks in front of us and some people with kids. And whenever that happens, I usually volunteer to be an engineer. So I'm going to be in the back. And of course, me being the giant man-child I am going to be having fun with it, yelling, pushing all the buttons, pushing every button I can the entire time. And maybe even purposely not pushing buttons just to see what will happen if you don't push the right buttons and push all the wrong buttons. But you have this fantastic ride setup, possibly possibly my favorite queue of any ride. I love walking past the Millennium Falcon on the ramp and the thing that looks like from the race in the first movie and the animatronics. I love the queue there. But if you're not a pilot, you miss half of everything that's going on. I really think they should redo it so that if you're on the guns or on the engineering, you should have your screens more face forward so you can actually see what the pilots are doing. Because if you're doing the other stuff, you're missing all of the really interesting things. Only the pilots really get to see a lot of the stuff going on. I mean, if you're a gunner, you get to see some of it.
Yeah.
But still, it's like you have this great setup for the most part, and you're cutting out literally 4 out of 6 people from the biggest part of the actions. Even if you're not piloting, you should be able to see everything that's going on.
Yeah, I mean, have monitors.
Yeah, like they could do maybe they could have the buttons be forward facing somehow. So you could be pushing the buttons as an engineer, but watching where you're going while you're doing the same thing with the guns.
Yeah, it's a little awkward to be facing to the right or left and all the scenery is in the front.
Yeah. All I know is that if we shake around a lot, my lights are going to flash and I need to start pushing buttons.
I know.
But I don't have no idea what's going on.
Yeah. That's so
adding the little baby Yoda to the screens. So if you're an engineer, you literally have these little scenes going on with him, Grogu, while it's going on. That does make it a little bit more fun.
Yeah.
I'll say that was a good idea there, but I would literally, gut the insides out a bit and put more forward-facing monitors,
right,
and more forward-facing buttons and for the gunners and for the engineers, so you could see what was going on.
I gotcha. Yeah, right. Little pod in front of you.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's like 2 out of those 6 people win when they go on that ride. Everyone else gets the consolation prize. The pilots have like all the fun, and everyone else is like, well, those buttons were interesting that I stared at for 3 minutes.
Love it. All right. We're going all over the place. We're going into the resorts now. Which resort is worth visiting, even if you're not staying there?
For me, that would be Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Yeah.
Because that's a lot. That's where me and my cousin sometimes we'll just literally go just walk around. Right. Second place would be Wilderness Lodge. I do enjoy walking around Wilderness Lodge. Just the rustic feel to it. It kind of gives me some vibes of being back in Ohio. So if I'm missing Ohio, the outdoor areas remind me a little bit of some of the park areas. Because one of the things I love to do in Ohio is you can go to the state parks there and rent cabins.
Yeah.
These little 1 or 2 bedroom cabins out there, and just, an easy way to camp. But Animal Kingdom Lodge is almost an attraction to itself with all the animals there and just, the pretty scenery, the way they do the pools and everything else, very immersive feeling there.
They're majestic is the best word I can say.
Yeah.
For sure. A lot going on in there. Great place to, especially get a meal, but definitely check out all that those.
Plus, I can have the fun of showing people how you can cut through the kitchen at Boma without anybody noticing. Because when I worked there for a week, nobody told me how to get to Mara employee area. So I literally every morning just walked through the kitchen of Boma and nobody stopped me. I'm like, I just acted like I belong there. Hey guys, how are you doing? Don't mind me. Just a guy cutting through your kitchen at 7:00 in the morning. Please don't call the Mickey security squad on me.
Opinions on the Geekin on Walt Disney World podcast are not necessarily our own. Yeah, I like, I was thinking of Wilderness Lodge. I love sitting in those big chairs next to the bubbling brook that's coming up through the floor.
Yeah.
Carrying on the water down into what looks like it's going into the pool. I don't think that it actually does. I've had that conversation with people. I think it goes under the pool.
Yeah, and they've got that nice little lounge area over by there that you can kind of get a drink or two at if you want to as well.
Oh, yeah. There's some great lounges. That's another good reason to go to these. You need an excuse, try the lounges.
Yes. Well, and you're not going to believe this, but sometimes if you talk to the cast members like I do, they'll give you advice. So that's how I knew what the best appetizers were at Whispering Canyon. I was over at that one of those lounges, I think the one by the gurgling brook, and they were like just filling me in, what was the best bang for the buck, and ask Disney college program kids about appetizers, and they have really strong opinions. I had like 4 or 5 of them all like telling me what their favorite food items were and such. So
is it the Territory Lounge?
I think that's what it's called. Yeah.
But you made me think of the Animal Kingdom. They have some cultural cast members that will talk about their country they're actually from.
And sometimes they're playing music or they're having little dance parties. I've been over there when they've had somebody like brought out like an old fashioned like boombox, and they're actually having like little dance parties up there on the top floor. Yeah. It's almost like some areas have like a free pass to just be as goofy and fun as they want to be.
You might even run into a character or two there.
I have.
Yep. I love it. What do you think the best value in Disney World is? It could be food, lightning lanes, recreation, souvenirs, experiences.
I'd have to kind of reevaluate, but I've always said I thought the best bang for your buck was the make your own popcorn tub on Main Street.
Ooh, yeah, that's a very popular thing.
Yeah, and I had not heard of it, and it was Scott and Karen who walked me over to that area because I think they were offended I had never made my own popcorn bucket. But for the price, I ate off of that for like a week.
Really?
You make 3 layers of popcorn and candy and marshmallows and drizzle and all of that stuff. And you can make it more popcorn or more candy, however you want to do it. There's different cost levels depending on how much candy. And speaking of marshmallows, one time I was there getting that, the girl started asking, the cast members started putting marshmallows on there. She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't ask for marshmallows. Do you want me to start over?" I'm like, "No, I will make the personal sacrifice of having free marshmallows added to my popcorn because I am that kind of person, a giver. I will make that sacrifice for you." But yeah, I think that's always been, I would actually say that whole little area right there on Main Street, almost all of those sweet treats right there are not that expensive. But the Twix cookie I've got in there was excellent. That was like $7. Yeah. Everything in there is generally not that expensive because, of course, they're made in mass in the back or whatever, but they're very good and they're very reasonably priced. So I would recommend that entire little area.
I like
right
that.
there as being a good bang for your buck.
So you're saying the popcorn will last a week?
Unless you really like your caramel and chocolate and marshmallows and M&M, popcorn stuff, at which point I can't, I can't say for sure. I just know it lasted me at least a couple of days.
Yeah. Your experience may vary.
Yeah. Depending on if you think of M&Ms as a, dietary necessity or not.
I think I don't know about best value, but the cool factor of the cookies, and that's a bad explanation, the cookies. Like the cookie sandwiches is what I'm thinking of, Jason.
Yeah.
There's a new one they're talking about at Animal Kingdom quite a bit.
The ice cream one?
Yeah.
I have not gotten to try that one yet, but I will next time I'm over there. I just have to avoid the back end area by the safari because there's a pineapple scrunch sundae over there that I literally cannot not buy. If I see the sign, it's like the siren's call.
I know.
It's warmed up pineapple cake with ice cream with pineapple scrunch toppings on top of it. It's so good. And every time I'm there, I'm like, no, you don't need that this time. You don't have to have that every time. So as long as I don't see the sign, I'm all right. If I see the sign, I saw the sign, I have to get it now.
I know. I know this about you.
Yeah.
That's a good one. And yeah, I'm the kind of the same way. Margita will say, I think on the day we're leaving, we were in Epcot and she's like, you want to stop at the caramel kitchen, whatever it's called? Because they've got a couple of cookies in there. They're sandwiches and they're huge. So I think they're a pretty good value. I mean, you could eat those. You can eat half today and half tomorrow.
Yeah, and that is one thing that the festivals are great for. If you want to try some different treats, you can hit every one of those little booths has a dessert of some kind, and none of them are usually too pricey.
Yeah.
So you might kind of figure out what Disney does that you do like, by trying different stuff. And that's kind of a reasonable way to do it.
Because we're on the topic of food, and you just mentioned Epcot, I did have a question about the festivals, but you made a confession that, and I think it's a good one. I don't think you have to do the festival items, especially when it's so crowded on the weekends, if that's the time you're going, Jason. But what are some of your favorite things in Epcot without a festival?
Well, one of my favorite things about Epcot when there's not a festival, since the World Showcase area tends to slow down, if you can get there when World Showcase is not busy,
yeah,
that is the most gorgeous area to just walk around and absorb.
So true. Yes.
I was there the other couple weeks ago, and it was just happened to be at a time when most of the stuff wasn't open yet, so people weren't there yet. They were focused on Future World. And I just went, oh, I had forgotten.
Yeah. Well, they opened it up earlier.
How beautiful this is.
Yeah. And they opened it earlier than they used to years ago. It was always 11 a.m., but now with Ratatouille and Frozen.
Yeah. It used to be, that you didn't do World Showcase until you actually did a bunch of stuff at Future World.
Right.
Then you moved on to World Showcase. Now, because of Frozen and Ratatouille, it's still there. But, there's still pockets of time sometimes when you can get over there and it's not too crowded yet. And it's almost a shame that you can't see it so much during the festivals, because the Imagineers just did a fantastic job of getting these beautiful parts of all these different countries somehow locked into this little wedge of Florida, waterfront.
Yeah. I love your opinion on that, because it is my favorite area. I love the cultural aspect, the foods. And I had this question about the festivals, which get all the notoriety, but there's so many things I love without the festival. And many times I don't do the festival foods because the lines are too long.
Yeah. Or I then literally it becomes a case of, all right, I guess I'm going to eat at whichever booth I get to that doesn't have, a 30-minute wait, so I can pay $7 for for two small tacos or whatever. So if that's the case, it's like, okay, I always avoid Italy. That's always got a long line for everything there. And so, that's because of that, though, I have tried some different items that maybe I wouldn't have tried in the past because the line wasn't long. That's how I discovered I like couscous. I was at one of the African-themed areas, and they had a kebab, I think, if I remember correctly. I think it was a kebab that sounded interesting. There wasn't much of a line. I'm like, I don't know what couscous is, but if, I'm sure it'll be interesting. And afterwards, I'm like, I should have just asked them if I could have paid them extra for a big old bowl of this couscous. This stuff is awesome.
I had that same experience. Now they've what's the land there with Spice Road Table? I mean, that was an experience I thoroughly enjoyed when I finally did it. But even the little quick serve that used to be right there.
Yeah.
They only use it for festivals now, but I had that same experience. I had like a kebab and couscous and the plate that they had. It was a great value, and boy, I loved it.
Yeah, I think that African booth was right next to that area because of it, territorially wise. I think that was the closest that African area would have been that area. So
very good. All right. On the opposite end of the spectrum, what's not worth the money right now?
Let's see.
Something overpriced.
I think some of the lightning lanes are overpriced. You have to do your research, because some of them, I've seen some lightning lanes where people are still waiting for quite a long time. I don't do them myself, but I have heard a lot of people recently complaining that they spent money on lightning lanes and it really didn't do that much for them.
Yeah.
I remember in the past, that was a problem sometimes with the Ratatouille ride, was that the lightning lane could get backed up really bad because they would have a lot of mechanical issues there. So there was like no guarantee for that.
My experience last time was not that, but I have seen that. It's very shocking when you've got a lightning lane and it's backed up. But
other than that, it's just a case of some of the restaurants are always a bit overrated. I think Be Our Guest, unless you're really in love with the theming and wanting to be inside the story of Beauty and the Beast, I don't think that's really worth the money there. And some of the others, that type of thing is depending on what you value.
Yeah.
Because, I had a great dining experience at Hollywood and Vine, but a lot of people I've talked to had a horrible dining experience at Hollywood and Vine. That's a big gamble to take for $60, $70 a person for what is essentially, fancy Golden Corral food.
Yeah.
So, but if you really want to, have the character meet while you can pick up your own food and have the characters come to your table, even if the food is mediocre, that might be worth it.
Yeah, we had some great reports, and I had a great experience there. Matter of fact, I think we're going back to Hollywood and Vine. But yeah, I agree with you. We've had mixed on that over the years, but we had great character. They're going to be in their Halloween costumes, I think, when we go there.
I know I would not have spent the money that we spent on Crystal Palace the one time we went. People in our group got sick because I think the chicken was a little undercooked, but nothing impressed us that much. The Winnie the Pooh and Piglet and all that encounters were great, but they weren't $40, $50 tacked onto the price of the meal. Great. And the food we got was very meh to mediocre there. But I've known people that swear by the Crystal Palace. Yeah. It's like one of those things that they go to every time they go.
Yeah, definitely for the kids' experience too.
Yeah.
And it's convenient too.
And there's a certain age group where kids really love Winnie the Pooh. Yeah. So if you're in that spot, it might be worth whatever it costs.
Yeah. I've liked the food there. I've not had a problem. All right. This might be one you got some stories for me. Favorite cast member interactions recently?
Oh, yeah. I've got plenty of stories on that.
We could finish out the hour here if you want.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of the cast members love it when you stop and talk to them. A lot of them are worried if you stop and talk to them that they're going to get in trouble. And some of them are burnt out and would just want to go home. So I always try to kind of get a feel for if they want to talk or not. But, I just told you how I went to the Hollywood Glow Nights for the DVC members at Hollywood Studios. Well, I got there before a couple of the other people. So a couple of the cast members were there directing traffic of where you're supposed to line up to go get your special wristband. Well, I did the Glow Nights at Typhoon Lagoon during the summer. I worked there as part of the Disney College program. So I walked over and we just started talking about all of our horror stories, about the different parties and all the different things that they've seen happen and all the different stuff. And while I'm there, 3 different people like literally almost slammed into me because they were trying to get to this line. I'm like, it's okay, guys. They don't serve the free Mickey bars till 7:30. And so they're laughing. And I was telling them my stories about how I hated being at the exit at the Glow Nights at the Typhoon Lagoon because you would try to hand out the Mickey bars and the Mickey sandwiches, and some people would walk up, and since it was closer to the exit, would literally wrap their arms and like bear hug like 40 or 50 Mickey bars and like try to carry them all out.
Really?
And they were just telling me all these different stories that I can't repeat because I don't want to get them in trouble in case somebody's listening to this podcast. But yeah, we were just because nobody could hear us. We're just go trading fun stories back and forth about how if I didn't have anything to do, I would just dance around in front of the lazy river during the Glow Nights because they'd be playing music. And I'm like, all right, let's see how many people I can embarrass with my awkward dancing, And so, yeah, we had a good time just talking. Then later, we were walking around inside and we were just wanting some food, but they closed down almost all of the restaurants. And so we're literally bouncing around. They didn't do a great job of explaining where you could get food or where you couldn't. And they didn't have really good signs out. So you kind of just had to go up. And one interaction I had, though, was, so I go up to the booth. It's close to where Mickey and Minnie Runaway Railroad Way is, but a little bit farther down. And I go over there, and these poor kids, you can tell that the guests had probably not been too nice to them. So this one nice young lady brings me my Mickey pretzel, and I look to her and I go, how are you holding up? Are you doing okay? And you could just almost see her shoulders slump for a minute and just look on his face. She's like, I am really tired. I'm like, okay, well, you guys are doing a great job. I worked at Typhoon Lagoon during these. I know how they're at. And you're doing a great job. Keep going. And I just, you could just tell that these poor kids were working their tails off. And sometimes you can see that they're not, all they get is the disgruntledness, not the happiness for it. So that really stuck out. I was like, I was like, well, next time I'm on one of these podcasts, I'm going to remind people that these poor kids are getting yelled at a lot by angry guests, and, don't, try to be nice to them. The other thing that was fun, though, was I almost talked the girls inside the Muppets new ride into letting me push buttons. I told them that they were going to let me push the buttons in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad, and maybe I could push the buttons, the glowing buttons there. They talked about it for a second. They almost let me, but I'm like, okay, no, I won't. I don't want to get you in trouble. But I was wearing my Avengers shirt, so we started talking about the Avengers preview that came out. If they hadn't opened up that ride and I'd been there for maybe 2 more minutes, I bet I could have pushed the button. I'm going to be able to say one of these days I got to push that like glowing green button on one of those rides. That also might be then the story of why I'm no longer allowed in the parks. But one of these days I'm going to push one of those buttons.
You should always have goals.
Yes.
That's a good one. I was thinking when you were talking about cast members being abused, I can think of a couple stories. One of them was at the beach club. I was sitting there having a meal, and they had that takeout window. And I'm from Connecticut, so I know a New Yorker when I see one. And not to pick on New Yorkers, but my experience has sometimes been the same with them not being too pleasant. But he came in and berated these cast members. I don't remember what it was about. And then the second time came in and did it. But the thing that was phenomenal to me was the 2 different cast members, or they might have been working the booth together. They brushed it off and were not laughing at him, just like it never happened. Just totally. I was like, I just thought that was really impressive to not take it personally.
If somebody asks so insane or so ridiculous, you can't take it personally because they probably berated the poor person at, Circle K as well. If it's just that type of person.
The training is so good to how to deal with irate people. I don't know. It was so
one
impressive.
Other cast member experience I did want to point out real quick is when we were that same night, we were over trying to find our way to ABC Commissary, and over where you can go in to see the Frozen show, there is like a little path that you can go by the bathroom, and it'll actually cut through that building, and you can go to the backside of it and go to our ABC Commissary. I know that because one of the cast members was so excited to tell us about the secret little path that she had figured out. And she is literally like watching us, making sure we can find it, yelling out, "It's over there." And she's like all like emotionally invested that we find this little secret path, that we get it. And I was like, I don't care if it saves us any time or not. This cast member is invested in us finding the secret path. We were going to find the secret path. And so she can then tell everyone that she helped us save, 2 minutes walking around the side of the building. But that's what I love, is when a cast member knows something and they just want to share it, even if it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's their way of saying, hey, I'm a cast member. I know something other people might not, and I want to share it to make your day better.
I love that enthusiasm from a cast member, for sure, especially for geeks like us. We're into that kind of stuff. Yeah, I love it. Hey, I'm going to keep you my promise to an hour. I'm going to give you one more last question. And
First thing.
And this is, you're going to have to think on the fly because I didn't give you this question ahead of time. All right. I know you can do it though. I don't think it's too hard. So thank you so much for doing this, Jason. I'm going to save some of these other questions and we'll have to do this again. And hopefully it doesn't take so long next time around. But looking ahead to the rest of the year, 2026, what are you most excited about and that you're keeping your eye on?
I am excited to see what they do with the monsters area over there at Hollywood Studios.
For sure.
Because I feel like, at least for Disney World, Monsters Inc. has been an untapped, area.
Yeah.
Everyone loves Monsters Inc. I love the Disney Plus show, that Monsters at Work, that they did, that was like a little connection, but, for after the first Monsters Inc. movie. And it looks like they're really committed to making it a big deal. But I'm also excited to see they seem to be more committed to adding the little plus magics back. I am seeing more character spots, more little extra spots. I told you about those extra games that they're playing at the animation Courtyard. I almost wet my pants in the Galaxy's Edge area when Kylo Ren ambushed me while when I was doing something on my phone with a bunch of stormtroopers. Literally snuck up on me and demanded to know what I was doing with that electronic spy device in my hands. I was almost the star of one of those adult garment commercials at that point. He managed to freak me out. But I'm seeing that more and more.
Oh, good.
Every time I'm at the parks now, all the stuff that we lost in COVID, all those extra stuff that they added in there just to make the experience more magical, it's starting to come back in. Yeah. I'm seeing empty spots have something. It seems like they're trying to it seems to me like the Disney parks management is looking at their areas and going, where can we plus things without having to make any drastic changes? Here's an empty spot where we don't have anything going on. Let's add a character meet and greet right here, or let's add this, or let's add that. I'm seeing that more and more. So I'm excited to see that somebody seems like they're invested in kind of bringing back all those little extras that when you were a Disney person, you could use to justify why you kept coming back to the parks. Because people are like, you're going to Disney again. And, for a while it was almost a little hard to defend it because of all the things they took away. Well, they're starting to bring a lot of that back. So I think that's probably the single thing I'm the most excited for. Is like, it almost seems like every time I go now, there's something small there that wasn't there before.
All right. If they bring back Streetmosphere to Hollywood Studios, I'm all on board with this, dude.
I know a lot of people miss the Streetmosphere performers.
Yeah. I love the Spot and 80. Or I'll give you the UK players. Bring back the Holy Grail and I'll be in my glory.
Well, if they can have a person that's literally on a mechanical piano riding around Disney Springs, I know because they won't stop picking on me while I'm working at the cart at the gelato store. They always point me out. There's nothing like getting taunted by a person on a piano, literally a mechanical piano that rides around inside Disney Springs with somebody playing music and talking to people. Why can't they add stuff like that back to like Hollywood Studios and such?
I'm all on board with all that. You're making me think of a lot of memories. And all right, just in Disneyland, Wendy Fox was there, her and John, and they had R2-D2 walking around, right?
Yeah.
And I remember the garbage can over at Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, I remember the little mobile Muppet lab.
There you go.
With Dr. Honeydew and Beaker that used to go around. Oh, I would love if they brought back just those little Muppet puppet shows that they did, great moments in history, but mostly the American part. Just, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're taking, I love the Spot and 80 of the shows, or even a little more entertainment back at Epcot, because I feel like they've taken a little bit away from us there.
Especially the Future World area.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they could, they still got the bands playing all the time in World Showcase, but there's so much more they could be doing in the Future World area.
Boy, I'll tell you, that robot technology, you don't see it a lot of times. I've seen some YouTube stuff that's just unbelievable. And who could do it better than Disney? I wish they. If
going by that scooter animatronic they have in the new Muppets Rock and Roller Coaster,
right?
They continue to advance it.
They've got to be doing that stuff. I love it, Jason. I have so much fun talking to you and hanging out with you in the parks. I hope I get to see you in September.
Likewise.
We got to make a connection while we're down there. I think we're going to see a lot of geeks.
Hopefully. I'm
starting to hear some rumors of get-togethers. So
September's a good time to come. That's when you're coming, right?
Yeah. So I'm coming on the 19th, but I'm going to be there. I'm also doing some Universal and Epic in the end of our trip. But
yeah, I missed it. We had a teacher trip to Epic and I missed it. So if they do it again, I'm going to have to jump onto that one.
Yeah, I think you'd find that very interesting. But great to talk to you, Jason. Again, thank you so much. I want to do this again. I'll be reminded when I see you in September.
Yeah, always happy to jump on and converse with you, and always good to see the geeks whenever we all get together.
Yeah, so keep your eyes open for anything you can bring to us.
I will.
Thanks, pal.
Thank you.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
I love having Jason on the show. Huge thank you to him for hanging out and sharing his local perspective today. From his hilarious stories At Typhoon Lagoon, to his brilliant suggestion on how to fix the Millennium Falcon ride, Jason always brings the fun. It really reminds you that sometimes the best Disney memories aren't the ones you wait 3 hours in line for. It's the spontaneous moments like playing Duck Duck Goose with Donald Duck or having a cast member excitedly guide you down a secret shortcut. And before we go, a giant thank you to everyone who supports the show by booking their magical vacations through Margita and Judy, the Traveling Tiaras. If you're planning a trip to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, Universal, or Epic Universe, drop them a line, travelingtiaras@gmail.com. And of course, a huge shout out to our amazing Patreon family and Super Geeks. You guys literally keep the lights on and help us produce this show week after week and put gas in my tank. If you'd like to join the inner circle, head over to patreon.com/Geekin on WDW, the website to donate a contribution to this show. And now we want to hear from you in our Geekin on Walt Disney World Facebook community. Have you visited the revamped animation courtyard at Hollywood Studios? I'm loving the reports from that. That sounds really fantastic, especially for the little ones. What is your ultimate under-the-radar Disney treat? Or if you've got a recent trip report or story you want to share on the show, reach out to me, kurt.stone@geekinonww.com. And don't forget, the next time you're in Disney Springs on a Friday night, look for Jason at the Gelato store. Just make sure you don't ask him to help you push any glowing ride buttons. Thank you so much for listening and going geeking on Walt Disney World with us. We love this community. We love you geeks. Until next time, keep taking care of each other. Have a magical day, and may all your dreams come true.
I don't have a hard time talking about anything to anyone, anywhere. I remember you and Margita had if we keep walking and Jason's not there, just keep going. He'll catch up with us. He stopped to talk to somebody. I remember that.
Absolutely. All right, let's roll.